Hello, it's a Sunday Sim slot without the sim. I shall explain more. I'll probably do some sim flying in a minute, but before I sat down to do some sim flying, I sat down to do some nerd mapping. It's just something I've continued doing, having had a thought experiment. Great areas of South Africa and the world, the third world, just aren't adequately mapped. And you might remember, if let me share this tab instead, you might remember if you saw this non-award winning vlog series, when I stood up a little virtual airline, Air Autonomous, and used tools for scheduling to work out how to get a big drone, a big airplane with tons of cargo, maybe 1,000 kilometers, so from a major city to smaller airfields, and then distributed from those to smaller still bush strips or something like that by another fleet, and then finally out into what I consider to be the best sort of way to start thinking about landing areas for drones being football pitches, because just about everywhere has football pitches. So I started looking for football pitches on maps and adding them to OpenStreetMaps. So let's go over here. And OpenStreetMaps, that's the same area, but that's not a football pitch, but it's got to be close. So I thought I'd add in that for those that don't know, OpenStreetMaps has a great new feature using artificial intelligence to find tracks for you. So does that really look like a track there? Is that really a track? Let's zoom in and see. Yes, it could be. I'm a little bit undecided about that one, without some truth. It probably is it will be earlier on. Look to these buildings. Well, I don't think it continues. Maybe it does. All right, I won't add that one. I'll add that one by hand later. Let's see if we can find another around here, just so I can show you. Unfortunately, I've started doing this. So look, a bit of them, that looks like a fence line, doesn't it? A few of them are a bit spurious. Let's find one. Oh no, let's find one to add. It's bound to be some up here. Is the paint dried yet? So you've got to be at the, here we are, here's loads that aren't on there. That's plainly your road. So you add that, make it a track, so you don't really know what it is. And Robert's your father's brother. So obviously you're adding infrastructure. Now, why would you do this now? I bet there's a football. Yeah, look, here's one. Here's one. I think I won't add it now, but there we are. I reckon that's a football pitch. Ideal area to consider having a delivery drone. But I'll add to it even more later. Let me just show you a couple of things over here. So adding it is, I mean, these are my contributions around and about, and you can see obviously I live in this area. We were looking over here then, and so that's cool enough in itself maybe. But last year, Lake Kivu, there was the drone delivery challenge going from down here to up here, and I added roads and things and infrastructure and rivers in this area because I figured if my colleagues were to have a flyaway or want to run it into somewhere where they could abort, they'd want to do it on the land. So we better make sure that all along the side here was adequately mapped. And well, so what, you say? So what? That's on OpenStreetMaps. That means nothing to me. So let's just change the window we're going for. Let's go over here and have this. What it actually means though is you can, has that actually arrived? I think that's arriving now. You can, of course, end up seeing it in your ground control station. And before I did that, no prizes or medals required, but before I did that, there were absolutely no roads in this area at all. And well, there was a few, the major ones were there. But if you're wanting to find your thing, then you would hope someone would put some roads down for you. Of course, you can use satellite images and all that sort of thing. But by adding to OpenStreetMaps, you can create a map that'll end up in your pocket. You can download an app that will download the area of interest, so you'll have that map for your potential flyaway. Of course, no one I know would ever have a flyaway. So obviously, I'm not talking to any of you, dear viewers, because you would never need this. But you can then have a map in your pocket that requires no internet that might be more useful to you when perhaps you're helping somebody else to look for their downed airframe. That sort of a thing. You know what I mean. So let's stop presenting there, and let's present one last more thing. Before we go, let's go here. Let's go there. So to that end, there's things, tools you can use. Tools you can use to create lots and lots and lots of imaging, and this is just one of them. So this is Tasking Manager for humanitarian OpenStreetMaps. You create an area, as I've done here. That's the Valley of 1,000 Hills, and this is actually the area that I'm sorting out with school children that I teach, and we just map a little bit here and there. And this is a way of keeping track of what you've done. And in fact, I haven't looked at it for a while, so we haven't done it this term. And somebody's been around and edited all sorts of tiles, so I've got to go and validate that now. But that's a handy way if you want to do an area to keep a track on what you've done. And this area, Valley of 1,000 Hills, as the name suggests, not quite 1,000 hills, but it's super hilly, and lots and lots and lots and lots of people living here. And the mapping, they're unmapped, as I said. You know, they really aren't on the map, which will seem amazing to a lot of people, but they are not on the map. So this is a way of, to me, of getting on the map, finding out where all the football pitches are, and having a further think in my head about how deliveries to those might work. So if you add data to OpenStreetMaps, the takeaway from this is if you add data to OpenStreetMaps in remote areas that are poorly served, that you are planning to fly, those maps will trickle down into two places that might make your life better. Place number A is on an app in your pocket on your phone, so you can see stuff without needing to be online, and it's stuff relevant to what you're doing. So you'll add stuff that you need. And thing number two is you can put it onto your ground control station and have a better idea of what's what in the area you are, rather than blank spaces. So ends my Sunday sermon for today. I'll fire up the sim. Be safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, stay away from people, look after yourselves, and we'll see you again every day in the week, round about lunchtime, for an update of the news headlines, and 2100 GMT every Tuesday for our drone and sundry stuff of nonsense chat. Cheers for now.